Eli's behind Mitchell Trubisky, C.J. Beathard, and Trevor Siemian in yards per attempt. He's averaging 185 yards a game passing in his last 7 games. And you remember the last time we saw him play, not this past Sunday, but the week before. 113 yards, under 50% completion. And you tell me he deserves to start, Skip? Now, I ain't about the sympathy. I will give Eli kudos for this. He understands the streak has to mean something. But for me to go out there and play the first half, when I know you're going to come get me in the second half just to keep the streak alive, that's demeaning.
It is. And to his credit, he said
right.
no.
And this is the most emotional I've ever seen Eli Manning.
Yep.
He's played bad in some games. He's played great. Skip, I've never seen this kind of emotion. Because obviously it means something to him. Now, I don't think he was ever going to catch Brett Favre. I mean, he'd have to start every year, every season for 19 straight.
210 to 297 straight.
Yeah. So that's another 4. That's another 5. Basically, another almost 5 years, Skip.
Yep.
That's
Think
another,
so.
No. So, but in the NFL, you must update your resume, Skip. You don't get to live forever on winning 2 Super Bowls and being Super Bowl MVP and beating Tom Brady. Because after he won that last Super Bowl, Skip, last year was the first year he was going to the playoffs. So you got to keep updating that resume. You don't get to rest on your laurels.
Yep.
So no, the Giants didn't disrespect him.
Yep.
He's been disrespecting the Giants organization and their fan base with the way he's been playing. So they owe him nothing. They've compensated him fairly for what he's done. But Eli is not playing well. He doesn't warrant starting. My only issue is who they're going to replace him. If you went with Davis Webb, I got no problem with it. I just do not believe Geno Smith is the answer for the New York Giants. But I have no problem with them sitting Eli Manning down. I will offer kudos, Skip, because he said, no, the streak means something to me, but not enough for me to go in there just to keep it alive, and y'all pull me in the second half.
Quick point before I get to the question on Davis Webb. I watched him some at Cal last year, going back a year. And remember, he started at Texas Tech. He went back and forth with Baker Mayfield, who was at Texas Tech, and they vied for the job, and he actually beat out Baker Mayfield.
Right.
Then he lost his job to Patrick Mahomes. So he's been in competition with high-level quarterbacks. Goes to Cal, and he throws 37 touchdown passes to 12 interceptions. And he's 6'5", 225, so he's prototype, drop-back pocket passer. So I'm curious. I want to see. I just want to see. Okay, now back to Eli yesterday. I must admit, as I watched that video, it was real to me. And we had Eli on the show, and it was the first time I've ever actually been in his presence. And I must admit, I liked him. I think he's a really good guy.
Yes.
Sometimes I've wondered if he really knows where he is because he's kind of blissfully naive, like, what just happened? Did I just throw a touchdown pass? Because he grew up with royalty, it came so easily to him. But yesterday, those were real tears welling in his eye, and I had sympathy for him because that streak meant a lot to him, and being the New York Football Giants quarterback meant a whole lot to him.
Correct.
And you know what? He carried that mantle with class and dignity, and off the field, he was Derek Jeter-esque. I got to give it to him. He was involved in that thing last year where he was said to be part of that fraudulent memorabilia scam. Then he said, I don't have any knowledge of this. I don't know what to believe. But Peyton had a couple of off-field blemishes that were much worse. And, Peyton is the guy with the charisma. He's telegenic. They both did Saturday Night Live. But
commercials and Saturday Night Live.
But Peyton just takes over the camera. He's funny. He's witty. He's clever. And Eli has always been a little bit in his shadow. But now back to what happens on the football field. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again times 10 today. The most baffling, perplexing, hard-to-figure quarterback I've ever closely observed is this guy, Eli Manning.
Right.
Every time I say, no, because he can be great in flashes, in big moments. He can be really bad for long stretches. And you say, well, who is he? Well, in the end, he's kind of a little better Joe Flacco. That's really what he is. And we talked yesterday about Joe Flacco in the postseason. What is he?
10-5.
10-5 in the postseason.
25 and 10 touchdown interception ratio.
And does have a Super Bowl victory.
Right.
And Eli's obviously got 2. But if you look at Eli's playoff record, it's 8-4. Why is it 8? Because he had 2 miracle runs where they just got crazy hot. The second time, when they were 7-7, finished 9-7, won the last 2, and then go on the road. Well, they won the first one home, but they win 4 in a row. So he's 8-4. So that means 4 other times Eli made the playoffs. one and done. Really? So Eli's overall record in the National Football League, including the 2-9 this year, is 110 to 100. So he's just barely above 500 as a starting quarterback all these years for the cornerstone giants of the National Football League.
For most of his career, Skip, he's
Wow.
been slightly above average.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.